Kit parts provide a good starting point for the exhaust stack on the Transtar 4300. The mounting brackets are a little simplified, but some basic scratch building can fill in these gaps for a more realistic appearance. Muffler and vertical exhaust pipe are provided as two separate parts which are glued together. These are in turn attached to what the instruction sheet calls keys on the lower exhaust brackets and a mount pin near the top corner of the cab. Bottom brackets are quite realistic in appearance, shown by this picture of a real Transtar 4300. The biggest difference is that the real muffler is held in place with U-bolt clamps rather than keyed into a peg on the top of the bracket. Original kit part on the left compared with modified kit part on the right. Styrene strip 30 thousandths thick by 188 wide was glued on to provide an attachment point for the U-bolt style muffler clamp. Base of the muffler clamp is made from 60 thou by 60 thou styrene strip with a half round notch sanded into it. A piece of K&S metal tubing will be inserted inside the muffler, and using a piece of the same diameter tube, in this case 7/32, with 220 grit sandpaper wrapped around it, provides an easy way to sand an accurate diameter notch in the styrene strip. The same diameter tube is also used to bend 20 thou brass wire into U-bolts. Form these U-bolts around the tube, ensuring that the two straight legs are parallel. Using the U-bolt as a guide, drill a pair of number 74 holes in the styrene strip. This slightly larger diameter hole provides extra clearance to make it easy to install the finished U-bolt. Glue a piece of 10 thou by 40 thou styrene strip to the bottom of the U-bolt bracket and drill through for the brass wire. This provides a small recessed area around the base of the U-bolt bracket and will make touch-up painting easier after final assembly. Glue one of the U-bolt braces to the lower exhaust bracket, providing an accurate location for the bottom end of the muffler. Muffler modifications involve trimming off the vertical exhaust pipe, removal of chrome, and filling in the two areas shown in red on the completed muffler, which are the original locations for the cab mounting pin and the key on the lower exhaust bracket. Drill both ends of the muffler to fit a piece of 7/32 inch diameter tube, which will pass all the way through. I use brass tube in this example because this truck has rusty exhaust pipes, which I'll be simulating with paint. Aluminum tube would work equally well and is slightly easier to cut. Cut the tube to a finished length that'll leave approximately 200 thousandths of an inch projecting from either end and glue it into the muffler. I like to use a single tube passing all the way through the muffler to help keep top and bottom pipes in alignment. Now we can work on creating a top exhaust bracket. This picture was found in an online for sale ad for Transtar 4300 parts and illustrates one type of exhaust bracket used on these trucks. Styrene strip 20 thousandths of an inch thick by 188 wide is used to form the curved section of the bracket. Form a small piece into a half circle and glue it on as shown. Using the long strip as a handle makes it easier to do the shaping and drilling, which will result in a completed bracket. Drill 3 number 67 holes to simulate the real exhaust bracket's multiple holes for different mounting applications. 220 grit sandpaper attached to the cab shell as shown here can be used for final fitting to ensure a tight fit of the rounded exhaust bracket to the cab corner. Glue the bracket on just below the molded on rain gutter detail and use bolt head castings to simulate fasteners, attaching it to the cab. 100 thou by 100 thou styrene angle is used to make the other portion of the upper exhaust bracket. This has 3 number 67 holes drilled in it, and the other U-bolt base is also glued on. Final alignment of the upper bracket for gluing purposes is done by eye, using the muffler and the back edge of the cab as reference points. This is easiest with the cab sitting on the workbench horizontally. Once the bracket has been glued, insert a bolt head casting in the appropriate pair of holes. It may be necessary to ream the hole slightly in either the upper or lower mounting bracket to get the bolt head casting to fit. Use the depth gauge end of the Vernier caliper to determine the finished cut length for the U-bolts. This setting can be locked, and the depth gauge can then serve as a cutting guide for trimming off excess U-bolt length. Final details are a nut and washer casting to simulate the bottom half of the fastener holding the two exhaust bracket halves together, and a pair of small bolt head castings to simulate the fasteners on the ends of the U-bolt. Muffler body is painted silver, lightly weathered with powdered pencil graphite, and the two projecting exhaust pipe ends were painted a dark red color as a base for further rust effects. Final touch-up of the U-bolt muffler clamps will be done after final painting and installation of the stack. Thanks for watching Part 2. Part 3 will conclude the exhaust system with the missing upper and lower pipes still to be added.